Control the court with the Head Prestige MP 2021. Last known as the Prestige Tour, the Prestige Main Performance, or Prestige MP, delivers plenty of plow-through and stability at a more forgiving 99 square inch head size compared to the other rackets in the line. This 2021 version also features a new auxetic construction in the throat for better feel at impact. Boasting a 334 swing weight, 11.5 ounce strung weight, and 18x19 string pattern, this Prestige MP delivers a solid feel and control for advanced players. Admittedly, this Prestige MP is out of my spec. It's not typically something I would swing, but I really loved it when I was on my game. Just the plow through and the weight that I could put behind my shots. As I was swinging it from the baseline, I really liked how low I could keep my slice shots. They would penetrate the court well. As I moved forward, I was really noticing that this is about 10 points higher than my comfort zone as far as swing weight goes. I wasn't able to hit those cross-court dippers as I was moving forward, but I could really drive through the ball and actually hit some winners right from there. As I moved forward at the net, the stability was excellent. I really just felt I could put the ball or the racket where I needed to be, and they would put the ball away. And I hit overheads. I actually really loved that feel of the weight coming through, and you could just feel the ball flatten out with all that power and the mass it was putting behind the shots. When it came to serve, I really needed to make sure that I kept my head speed up. If I wasn't using correct technique, I wasn't getting any power behind the ball, but if I really connected, I really loved to hit the shot. My favorite serve was the wide out on the ad side. On returns, again, it was about technique for me. If I kept my swing short and to the point, the racket just put through plenty of power. It was always stable and just offered great feel and comfort just from all the weight that was in this racket. Overall, this isn't typically a racket I would play with, but it is something that I aspire to. I really just loved the control that it offered my flatter style.
Excited to be here today to talk about the new 2021 Head Prestige MP, formerly known as the Tour, like Tiffany mentioned. I've really been liking all these rackets on the play test. This one, like Tiffany mentioned, is definitely a mass-based power. You're not getting a big high launch angle out of an 18-19 pattern. It is a 95 square inch hoop. You've got a 21.5 millimeter beam. So it is a very, as Granville would probably mention, a scalpel, a device. It's definitely gonna do everything that you can do, but it's not really gonna help you with anything. From any part of the court, I was experiencing great depth, easy access to spin so long as I had an edgy string, like maybe Head Links Tour, Links Edge, something like that to kind of grab and bite the ball. But overall, I feel like this racket gives you a really heavy racket benefit from swinging something around 305 to 310 grams. And for those who really want to beef it up, bring out their inner Merit Safin, this is a good platform racket to do so. You could add weight to either end and turn this into whatever racket you want. Overall, just a great play test. Let's send this over to Kristen and the other playtesters in Georgia to hear their thoughts on the brand new 2021 Prestige MP.
Thanks, Mark. This was my third Prestige playtest, with my prior two playtests being the Tour model, which now for this iteration is being called the MP. Of those three playtests, this was definitely my favorite. I found that this model combined a lot of the positive attributes that I found in those last prior two models. Compared to those last models, this one definitely swung a little bit heavier through the air. I did need a bit of an adjustment period those first 30 minutes. It felt a little bit taxing through the air. I wasn't sure if I was going to vibe with it, but once I got used to the frame and adjusted, I really had a lot of fun with it. I could really tap into the playability of this frame, the highlight for me of which was just the controllable power that I could tap into. I could really swing out freely with this frame, and when I trusted myself to do so, I was rewarded with powerful shots that were landing deep in the court with optimal precision, which definitely made returning a highlight of the playtest for me. I found it was easy to whip up some really piercing flat shots with this frame, but it was also easy to tap into spin. And as was the case with the previous models, I also really enjoyed hitting slice with this frame. This racket definitely had a firm feel to it, and as expected, outside of that sweet spot, it felt a little bit firmer, but it was never jarring in nature, and it didn't have that hollowish, tinny nature that I found in that 360 Plus model. So I definitely appreciated that this one felt solid on contact. It felt stable from the baseline, as well as when moving into the net, where I found it to play really very point and shoot. On serves, I was surprised that I didn't have the same adjustment period that I did from the baseline. I found it swung comfortably overhead, and although it wasn't whippy in nature, I appreciated the weight that I had coming through the ball in my serves. I could pick my spots well, and I definitely found that I was serving with a high percentage. So overall, I really enjoyed this playtest after that short adjustment period, and for me, this was my favorite Prestige playtest in this spec range to date.
So what you're going to find with the new Prestige here is that right away it's definitely have more swing weight to it. So it went up to a 334 swing weight versus a 326. That's going to be the biggest change as far as the specifications go. What I found with that is that it provided just a little bit more put-away power, but it did have an adjustment period where it was a little bit sluggish off the start, especially mainly for me on my serves. But it does have the auxetic and the throat technology now, and the makeup has been changed into graphene inside. Overall, it does play very similar in my opinion. It just has a little bit more of a stable feel. It's still coming in at that 66 stiffness rating, so it's got really nice response. But I do know a lot of players were complaining on the 360 Plus that it just feels a little bit muted, but I found that this one does have a little bit more of a response to it. It feels just a little bit better, and I can feel the ball all over the areas of the frame. My favorite shot to hit with it is definitely going to be the flat forehand. I loved returning flat forehand serves. I just found that the 18x19 string pattern and the new auxetic technology really made it fun to hit and easy to return on that. But overall, you're just going to really find that it's a very similar playing racket with just a little bit more of a firmer response to it. Still arm friendly, still really fun to play with, and I think everybody should give this one a check out. It's definitely one of my favorite Prestiges of the more recent models. We strung our racket with Head Links Tour at 52 pounds and a hybrid of Head Hawk Touch at 52 and Head Velocity MLT at 55 pounds. That concludes our review of the Head Prestige MP 2021. For more information on this racket and many others, be sure to check out Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, and Tennis Only. Thanks for watching.